What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Joe, just your average Joe. We're back at it again, doing a clean and repair on a Xbox 360 controller. So clean, repair, I wouldn't really say repair, I guess, but more so a cleaning, deep cleaning, and a thumb pad replacement. How about that? So there's that. So that's what we're getting into today. So appreciate you guys hanging out. If you have not been with me before, I've been reselling on eBay full time for about 8 years, give or take, but I've been buying and selling stuff on eBay since 2000, so 25 years now. So appreciate you guys hanging out. This is just kind of part of my process for eBay and things that I do for my eBay items. So just give you an inside look on how things work. I'm up in the office in my upstairs. You guys I don't normally film from up here, but I'm going to do a little bit more things. Give me feedback. Let me know how y'all like hanging out with me up here, showing you kind of what I do up here. I'm in between my football helmet series, as I mentioned before. I do autographed football helmets live on Facebook. So kind of like all those helmets that are behind my shoulder. We do normally 60 at a time. So normally there's a bunch of white boxes behind me that's all mystery style. So you don't know what's in the boxes. Those are majority of our stuff is shipped from us from a wholesaler that's all sealed up. So I don't know what's in most of the boxes. But there are some that I do know. I do a little bit of purchasing, and I also some guys basically sell me back their stuff because they don't want it. They essentially win something they don't want, and so they get break credit instead of the helmet, and then I just put the helmets back in another series, the next series, and and then some, if the next guy hits it that wants it, I ship it to them. If they don't want it, then it's rinse and repeat. So there is some helmets I do obviously take care of myself, but probably 80% of our series is I don't know what's in them. They're coming straight from the distributor or wholesaler, sealed up and ready to go. So anyway, so do you have any if you're intrigued at all on how that works or want to see more how that works and see me live on Facebook and see how I do that kind of stuff on Facebook, then come check us out on Facebook. It's BTG East Coast. BTG East Coast. Do I have a sticker? There's a sticker here. This is our logo, BTG East Coast. So there's that. So BTG East Coast. Those are the white boxes I was talking about before, and and yeah. So anyway, join the room. Check us out. Just let me know you came over from YouTube, but we're going to go ahead and get started for the night. We're not really covering anything eBay related. We're just going to do a little tinker video. And this is how I think I'm pretty good at taking apart 360 controllers. I've done a lot of these. They're super easy to get into and to fix and clean. Get all the controller juice out from them is the big thing, is getting all the controller juice out from little cracks and crevices, make it clean and sellable. So I can usually get about $20 to $25 out of these, if I go and usually 22 plus shipping. Anyway, 25 bucks out of them is what I normally get. So let's go ahead and get started and show you guys what I do and how I do on these things. So let's go. By the way, the Rams just beat the the Rams just beat the Vikings. So, all right. So first thing is, as you can see, this controller is not too bad. It's not. Oh man, terrible. All right, this controller is not too bad. I've had way worse. So this is not too bad. It's got some controller juice and some yuck on it. I don't know if you can really make it out. It's not terrible. Not terrible. It doesn't have a whole lot of gunk I mean, it has gunk, but it's not, again, I've seen way worse. And lately, I used to do this barehanded, but I've gotten to a point now where I've heard some bad things about the Lysol wipes that I use. And so I started using gloves now. So if you're wondering why I'm using gloves, that's why. So yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in. Pretty simple to take these apart. It takes I don't know what you call it, but it's this guy right here. I got a kit that has all the different screws for all the Nintendos and this and that and the third. So my wife got me this screwdriver, a while back, and it works very well. So makes things a little quicker, a little easier to get into stuff a little faster instead of having to hand crank. I like to screw, well, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I like to screw them in by hand, but that's not always true either. That one might be broke. Okay. All right. Now this did not have a back cover. So I actually have back covers on hand, just like I've got the thumb pads on hand. So I buy the thumb pads in bulk. I don't know, like maybe 20 at a time. And same thing with the backs, because I come across 360 controllers all the time. So there's a hidden screw. Actually, this one's already been, looks like, broken into before. But there's a screw there. All right. So let's put all these up here. All right, so basically from there, it's super easy. It just basically pulls apart. So you just kind of grab it and pull from each side, and it just kind of pops off. Everything falls out. Oh. So there's that. Now I've only had this happen once or twice. I've had some controllers that had lots of dead roaches in them. So I try not to. I try to pick up on those signs. I figured this one didn't. You can usually tell by what it's in, but luckily this one, most of the time you don't have to worry about that, but it can happen. This part pulls off of here, just like that, which leaves you this. Pull these off because I'm eventually just going to swap those, so throw those out. I am going to. Those are all the buttons and membranes. And then we are going to pull this out. That's another piece there. And then the whole board just pops right off, just like that. Pretty straightforward. I don't normally take the analogs out because I don't really mess with that much. And that's it. That's a part. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with just cleaning, getting some stuff cleaned up. Let me grab this because I think I'm going to get into those joysticks a little bit. So so I hit all the corners, basically all the edges on everything, because it's got grime and nasty in it. Most of it gets picked up by the wipe, obviously. So am I going to have some residual pop, land off of this? Yes. But for the most part, it gets picked up by the wipe. So there's that. I used to, I don't open up all the controllers. I only open up ones that really need the joystick things done. And then that's when I do a deep cleaning because I'm already in it. So I don't do this for like all controllers. Unless they're like really bad, then I may open them up and mess with them. And that's any controller really that I mess with. I have no reservation opening up really any controller. They're all pretty easy. Honestly, they're all pretty simple. I haven't really come across a controller that's like, I don't want to mess with that thing. That thing is way too complicated yet. So they believe it or not are all pretty simple. So Xbox 360 are probably the easiest though. They just come apart so easy. All right, so that's done. I'm going to do this, wipe this down. And again, sorry guys. I'm going to do this down here by the trash. So you're not going to really see much here, but all I'm doing is just give you an example. I'm just really kind of going across the edges and cleaning up all that goo and gunk, and I call it controller juice from the edges, but I like to do it over my trash can so I don't get, because obviously my mat's going to get nasty stuff on it. I don't want to get too much nasty stuff on it. So I do it over my trash can because little bits and particles and stuff. And again, I used to do this a little bit more unsanitary and used to just do it by hand and deal with all this controller juice like under my fingernails and stuff. And then afterwards, obviously, I'd wash my hands. But my thought process is, you know, it is what it is, right? I got disinfectant wipes while I'm doing it, so it's not like gonna make me sick or be, you know, it's whatever's in there, bacteria or whatever is dying off because I got Lysol, got Lysol, right? Well, yeah, that's great. They're not wrong, but on the flip side of that coin, uh, the chemical itself is harsh. And again, wasn't even paying attention or realizing that I didn't really care if maybe that's a better way to put it. I really didn't care that it was harsh chemical. I didn't think that it was a big deal until I started seeing a little bit more stuff on news and TikTok and Facebook about how harsh the chemicals are and how it can lead to cancers and the Lysol and stuff. And I was like, huh, you know. So I was like, well, I guess I should start knocking two birds out with one stone, eh? I'll start wearing gloves so I don't get the chemical all over my fingers underneath my nails because my fingers would get raw sometimes dealing with this, especially if I had a bunch. Like if I'm doing one or two or three, it doesn't. But sometimes I'd be up here for hours doing systems and cleaning and processing and and sanitizing and, you know, between systems and controllers and all that, it just gets all, your hand just gets saturated with it and you go wash your hand and it just still smells of it. So hopefully I haven't done any damage up to this point, but all I can do is tweak going forward, right? What's done is done. Shame on me, and we'll hope for the best. I would say probably for the past year, well, I just started getting into video. I got into video games and systems as my niche probably about 2 years ago now. So I've been doing this for about a year and a half because I just switched to doing this about 6 months ago. So with that being said, about a year and a half of exposure to the harsher chemical or to the Lysol wipes and the chemicals. So hopefully, and not daily, but frequently. I mean, so anyway, that's my story, and hopefully I don't have to regret it later on. But certainly from now on, I'm going to be wearing gloves, or for here on out, I'll be wearing gloves. So, all right, so pretty much everything on the controller juice is cleaned out. So now what I do, you know, and you could really kind of call this refurbished almost. Because I think I do a pretty good job deep cleaning these things. So the next thing I do now is kind of clean out the where all the. I mean, again, you can do you, but I typically I'll get to that in a second. What's the easiest way? Typically use this. Getting all the controller buttons where the buttons were. So that's what I'm doing now, is getting where all the buttons were. Just giving it a clean. It's not like crazy clean, but it's where all the buttons were before, and just have something that kind of slides in there really easy. So I'm just using a part of my toolkit and wrapping it with the wipe. Those are too small. This one is fine. You know, and all right, and let's flip this over and get these smaller sections. Just a little wipe in and out. Like, it's not perfect, but it's getting some of that grime and nasty out from inside where the buttons were hanging. Okay. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is use a little flathead, and I could unscrew it and do it, but I normally do a pretty good job of getting in where the analog is, or not the analog, the thumbs, what was that, the controller, the D-pad. You see, I get some good amount of gunk on there. So just getting in that D-pad section and the cracks in that D-pad, and getting all that nasty inside of there. Just different angles, kind of like when I'm wiping in there, just getting different angle here, and pretty good. And again, I could unscrew it and get to it, but normally that does the job. So that's it there. So these are both pretty much clean. I'm going to call those clean and ready to rock. These are clean and ready to rock. Now I'm going to do my buttons and just kind of wipe the buttons again, just get them a little clean on the edges and all that, so they're not there's no nasty in there when I put this back together. And this is when I talk about when I'm on with you guys and I talk about, I want premium out of my stuff, because I know people aren't doing this, and going to this degree. And I don't do this all the time, don't get me wrong, but I do take pride in what I sell on eBay and the things that I have in my store. And I do clean everything, sanitize everything that I come across. In fact, I just came across a bundle, since I haven't really messed with or hung out with you guys since my eBay sales have been kind of in the shithole a little bit lately, the past 2 weeks or so, mainly because I've been focusing on my helmet business, my football helmet business, and we've been selling pretty good there and been doing pretty good. So, let off the gas a little bit. I was already kind of letting off the gas anyway in December, but I've kind of let off the gas a little bit on the eBay side of stuff. I got to get back on track now, but partly it's because my other business has been doing pretty good. This past 2 weeks, our sales have been really, really good. So, but I just picked up a collection that's got a bunch of I mean, it's like 2 Super Nintendos, four Nintendos, a Sega, tons of controllers and hookups, and a Virtual Boy controller, which those I didn't realize are like $40. If they have the controller pack, or if they have the battery pack, they're like $100. This one does not have the battery pack, but they're still like 40-50 bucks. It's pretty good shape. That's the only thing that's actually in pretty good shape is the Virtual Boy controller. Everything else is just nasty. It's got a nasty film all over it. It's just disgusting. It had bugs in it, 100%. It's been sitting outside actually for the past 2 days. It's been super cold out, like in the mid to low 20s the last 2 nights. So I put everything in a tub and I put it outside and out, like away from my house, and I've just let it set out there for the past 2 nights, just in case there is anything in it that's alive. I don't think there is, but in case there's anything in it that's alive, I'll make, obviously it's should kill it all off, and then I'm going to start processing that stuff. And it's just nasty. It's janky. It's gross. There's so much. The film is so bad. It's like a white film. So I think it's been gotten wet before. The one box it came in had black mold in it. It was just gross. The systems are absolutely disgusting. But you know, I've gotten systems just like that in the past and clean them up and test them out. Now, probably will test them before I start taking action and cleaning. Um, I normally don't have issues with cartridge based systems, so I may just clean and then process or then test. But obviously, that's not smart. But nonetheless, start processing that tomorrow. Since I got the next few days off from football helmet stuff, I'll be processing that stuff. And I'm saying all that to say it's gross as hell. It's nasty. And, that's why I try to get more out of my stuff, because that's the condition you get this stuff in. And it takes time to get it in resellable condition. And I got a good price on it all. I was $175 for that stuff. And that's not including like probably 30 games too that came out of that deal. So it was a very, and one game out of that bundle was like 40 bucks. Another game out of that bundle was like 30-40 bucks. So, within 2 games, it was, I just got to make up like $100. Well, out of all the other games, I'll make up the $100. So the systems are all basically free. Now, the next thing I'm doing is going to do isopropyl alcohol with my toothbrush and just kind of get in the whatever you call these again, why am I drawing a blank right now? The actuators for the joysticks. So they were pretty nasty in there. Lots of like, I don't know, just the plastic from them moving gets gunked in there and shaves off little by little over time. So I'm just kind of lots of isopropyl alcohol and just diving in, getting the sides, getting it in there and working it in. You know, I can't say 100% this does anything. It was already working, so I have this. Obviously, I tested both of these. Well, both of these. I got another control over here. I've tested both of these already, made sure they're working and they're good. But it just, you know, if I can help it feel a little better, this joystick is the main one because it's on your left hand. So this is the one that's used the most. It felt a little, you know, like a little. It wasn't so snappy. That's the right word I want to use. It wasn't so snappy as the other one is. So I was like, you know what, this is just another step that I take now when they're not feeling so snappy. I just kind of isopropyl alcohol. It works wonders, man. Like this stuff really does a good job. Even though it works, it just does a pretty good job of cleaning it and, you know, just helping it along the way a little bit. So board on this looks pretty good. I'm not gonna really do any cleaning on the board. It looks in good shape. It's not water damage or not water damage, but have water in it from any busted acid or anything like that. So I'm just gonna drench this and these two analog with lots of isopropyl alcohol. Give it a good. Hopefully that one's will be just a little bit more snappy. That's all I'm looking for, is give it a little bit more snappiness. Okay. All right. So that's going to be pretty much it as far as just kind of do a visual inspection. Pretty much it. You know what? I'm gonna looking a little janky here in this guy right here. So we're gonna give this guy a little brush. Probably need a new brush. This thing's getting a little. The good thing with isopropyl alcohol is you can get everything nice. It's like getting it all wet and giving you good cleaning, and then it just evaporates, and it doesn't really affect the. At least I've never had it affect the thing working. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one because now, because I already tested this and I've never really had an issue with isopropyl alcohol damaging an electronic, especially, you know, if you give it ample time to dry, which I'm not going to retest this or put a battery to it. So I'm going to just, you know, put it back. When I put it back together, it just gets put back together. That's it. So probably need to get me another toothbrush. I noticed I got to get more zip ties too. Just trying to get all that gunk in that LT for the left trigger. So now it's nice and white instead of it having gunk in it. So, and then you get a lot of times you get a lot of gunk buildup on the side of the controller or the side of the joysticks. So, okay. All right. So that's it there. Let me do a little wipe. Okay. So basically it's reassemble time, and then I'll just clean the actual controller part the bulk of it, because now all the little cracks and crevices and everything is good to go. So we start with putting our buttons back. Okay. Put our X back in there. Okay. A. Actually, A is here, isn't it? Yep. X is here. B is here. And Y is up top. Okay. All right. We're going to do our okay. I got the membranes. So everything pretty much lines back up, which is, again, it goes back to like, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Everything pretty much, there you go. There's that. The next thing is this bottom piece goes back in here. I always forget this one, to be honest with you. This is the one I always end up forgetting, is this one. So this one goes back in here. Then this one goes back on top. Actually, you know what? That top trigger was a little loosey goosey. So I'm going to do a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on these top buttons, just to clean them out, make sure we have no, maybe they'll be a little bit more snappy as well. There's two little buttons right here, and that's what the back triggers are for, is right there. I don't know if you can see them. But anyway, I know it's probably should have you guys a little closer, huh? Sorry, wasn't even paying attention. So that should be okay. Okay. All right. So next thing is pop on my new thumb pads. New thumb pad. And put this back in. Put these bad boys back in their slot. All right, get in there, guy. Get in your hole. Okay. All right, so basically right back in its hole. And then the last step is I normally take it and do the triggers first. And then I slide in the triggers first, and then you slide in the battery terminals, and there's little slides that they slide into. And make sure that you get them in there, and then that's basically it. Squeeze it together. You heard it click. Everything looks good. Oh yeah, a little bit more snappy for sure on that trigger. That trigger was not that snappy before. And a little bit more snap. Yeah, we're in good shape. That thing was not very snappy. So I think we're in business now. So we'll put the screws back in, and then we'll clean it up on the outside. And what most people see is what we'll clean up next. You know what? Let me. Okay. So that is how I clean. And again, if you do it different or there's something I missed or something, let me know in the comments. But this is how I clean, how I repair thumb pads on a Xbox 360 controller and clean the controller. I like to screw in, usually, sometimes I'll use the thing, but I just like the feel of it being tight and not like crazy tight, because sometimes the power screwdriver can like, there's different levels. There's 3 levels on it, and I'm at the lowest level, so I'm not really going to break anything, but I just like to have that hand crank, that hand tightness. I just like the feel of knowing that it's good to go. So again, that's just me. But all right, I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're just going to take a disinfectant wipe, another one, and we're going to just give it a really good, again, just a really good wipe down, since this is like the last step. You can do this at the beginning before you get going, so you don't have to do it on the back end. I mean, obviously there's no right or wrong on this, but now this controller does have some little bit of like yellow discoloration on it, so I don't have any other white controllers up right now, so it'll have this is sometimes if I have multiples, it's one controller with multiples, but usually they're all pretty much in the same condition. This one it's in good condition. It just has some love on it. It has a little discoloration. I mean, it's old, but it's nothing bad. But they'll get what they see in the pictures. So the fact that that's got, I don't know if you can tell, probably can't, but it's got a little bit of discoloration on it. You know, that kind of stuff. Let me actually do this in little cracks and crevices. So whenever you get like the Microsoft wording, it's hard to get all that clean with just a rag or with a wipe. So that's when a little bit more. I really need to get me a new brush, hey? I don't think there was really any much gunk in the RBs. But like that, Microsoft had some gunk in it. And I'll just hit the start and select as well. Just kind of hit those and get some of the gunk from inside of the start and select, because that's always a pain in the butt to get all the gunk from start and select. And even these triangles, I mean, the wording is so small. And then even the thumb pad, something, just go ahead and hit that up. Little crevasses. Okay. I think we're about in good shape. And that's going to pretty much be top to bottom. How long did that take me? About 30 minutes. I mean, it's not always worth it. I mean, if you think about it, there's people out there that don't make $20 an hour. When I get these controllers for $1 or free, like this one was actually free. It was a toss in on some stuff that I got, and then this controller was a toss in, and this one, same thing. This is for a Xbox One. They were just toss-ins. Now this one I don't need to open up, but I'll use the. In fact, I'll clean this one with you guys on camera as well. We're at 30 minutes. It shouldn't take me but 10 or so to clean that one. But so what's my profit on this? I don't know. After fees and everything is said and done, $16 maybe. After they're going to pay shipping. The thumb pads are like 20 cents or something like that, 10 cents a piece because I buy them in bulk. So I don't even really count that. So it's more so my time. And like, I enjoy doing this. So I don't really look at it as wasted time or process. Like I don't know, it's almost therapeutic, but that's it. So there's that. Got the brand new battery back, and you got a Xbox 360 controller that's technically been refurbished now. I would call that. Would you call that refurbished? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Would you call that a refurbished Xbox? Now, I don't. I don't say refurbished on eBay, but I do know refurbished stuff, and I've always thought about this. Because when I don't do this all the time. Like I said, it's normally only open them up and go this extent when I have to replace these joysticks on any controllers for any system. Then I open them up and do a deep clean. But whenever I do that, would you call that refurbished? Then is this now going to be? I've always thought about that, and I know refurbished stuff on eBay gets more money, it gets a premium. But would you call that a refurbished controller now? I don't know. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think. Now this one I've already processed and tested, and it's good to go. Just to give you an idea, I don't really know how to test this 360s outside of putting it on my control or putting it on my system. It doesn't pick up on the computer whenever I do. There's a website called like Test My Controller or something like that. I forget what it is. But if you Google Test My Controller or test controllers or controller tester, it comes up on Google, and it's like one of the first links. And you click on it, and it takes you to a website, and you just plug in your controller to the computer. It automatically picks it up, and you just press the buttons on it, and you can see it on the screen what's working. You can check for joy stick drift, and that's it. And you can call your controller working. So I did that already with this one. So I know it's all good to go and ready to rock. I just got to clean it now. So it's got some pretty nasty controller juice and all the cracks. Otherwise, it's in pretty damn good shape. Doesn't need to have the sticks replaced. Just cleaned, and so that's it on this one. But I would recommend also for folks that if you're into doing this, is check out the website or check out that don't be afraid to use that site to test your controllers instead of having to hook them up to your systems. 360s, I still have to. I don't know why it doesn't pick up 360 controllers, but it doesn't. So 360 controllers, I still hook up. PS2 controllers, I still have to hook up. I mean, obviously, so there are systems that I'm still hooking up and testing through the system, the console. But anything that plugs in through like USB or the micro USBs, the Type Cs, any of those, I may have to. Any of those, I can. You know what? I may. If I remember correctly, I don't normally open these very often, but I believe they just pop off. I believe they just pop off. I don't open these too often. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure they just pop off. I just don't want to break it. Yeah, that would be way more ideal. There we go. Did I break the clip? No, I didn't. Oh, that is gross. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's gross. So okay. Yeah, that's pretty gross. So I'm going to use a wipe to get all that nasty out of there. I don't really didn't want to get into all this, but if it's there and I got it open, I might as well clean it, right? I really just wanted to grab the controller juice. But it is a white controller, and these do go for like $30 if I remember correctly. Yeah, these go for like $30, I want to say. So it's worth it. I mean, again, it just goes back to, yeah, I didn't want it. Don't want to break anything is the problem, because then I'm gonna have to buy another piece, and then it's tapping into profits. Okay. Oh yeah, juicy, juicy. But look how much cleaner that's getting. I guess I should, I don't know, maybe get a better light for you guys so you can see what's going on here. Or maybe broaden the light a little bit. Does that work? Maybe that works. This is my first time doing this with you guys. And I want you guys to see I really haven't been paying attention. I'm sorry. I'll try to do a little bit better job of paying attention if you can see how nasty. We'll do the other side. We'll do a little close up on the other side. Show you how nasty it was compared to how clean we got it. But that's juicy. That's for sure. I wonder if having my computer on helps a little bit. All right, how did this go on? This went on that way, and the clips are that way. There's got to be an easier way to get these out. There we go. Okay, so juicy. I don't know if you can see it all, but it's pretty gross. Not terrible, but it's got some yuck to it. That's for sure. It's got some yuck to it. Uh, it's got a little yuck to it. With it being a white controller, I'd say this is probably best to do this anyway. So yummy. Yummy. Fun time. Guys, I used to do this without gloves on. I know, I know. Fun time, right? Okay. And I would not recommend cleaning controllers or, really anything unless it works. It's not worth doing any of this if it's not working. That's just my 2 cents. I got to put some more gloves on here in a minute because these are breaking. But obviously that's don't want to do that. So from here, I don't think I've taken apart. Now that I'm thinking about it, I may not have ever taken an Xbox One S totally apart. Yeah, I have. I think that just pops right back. Yeah, we're gonna take that off. Yeah, I have. It's just been so long. I haven't done one in so long. Oh, what's that? I don't know, but we got lots of nasty all over my pad. I can tell you that. Let's wipe up my pad real quick because it's this immediate workspace is yuck. Okay. All right. Because I believe I can just take this off and then get to that other crack, and then we are basically good to go. And then we're done. I think everything is housed on the front end of this one, if I remember correctly. Like I said, it's been a while since I've taken one of these apart because they normally aren't. I haven't come across a ton of these that are nasty. Oh no, the front comes off. Oh no, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then this comes off. Um, there's that screw there. Okay, now this should just come right off. If I remember correctly. Oh, oh, that is gross. We'll do a quick wipe down on that, but let's wipe this down. You know what? I'm gonna do this over my trash can because I don't want to keep getting it all over my pad if I can avoid it. So bear with me for a minute. Sometimes I go down rabbit holes, man. Like I was planning on just doing those two pads and getting in the crack here, but then I was like, let me take this off, and then now I'm down this rabbit hole, and now I'm gonna have to clean that up a bit because that's all nasty and janky, and I just can't leave it. At least I feel like I can't leave it. So, oh, that's gross. Yeah, lots of controller juice. Okay, so that's not terrible. Let me wipe this down, and I think we can go back to putting it back together. I think they had a dog because there's lots of like hair in here. Okay. Oh, I guess the back does just pop right off, huh? No, we don't need to pop the back off. We're good. Okay. All right, that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. It's good enough. It's The cracks is what I was more so worried about. And the cracks, yeah, they had dog, because that's like dander and stuff all in this controller. Like dog hair and stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Would you? I wouldn't. Definitely not perfect by any means, but from the outside, it's going to look new. Basically, all that controller juice is gone, but uh, the inside could certainly use a deeper cleaning. But I'm not trying to mess with it because it's good enough. We went down a rabbit hole I didn't want to go down. So, all right, so let me do another wipe down, and I think we are in business. Put it back together, and she's good to go. Nice little wipe down. Get this analog controller really good. In fact, let me use some bristles on there. Some bristle action. Although my bristles are pretty worn, I really need a new toothbrush. Yeah. Really need a new toothbrush, to be totally honest, but we're not going to stress about that right now. We're just going to get these little bit of cracks and crevices. Okay. And yes, my thumbs are popping through the gloves already. That is happening. That is a thing. But I'm going to keep on trucking because that's how we do around here. We just... Okay. One more spot. Let me get this bottom. And we are going to be in business. Make it nice and white again. No yuck in the cracks and crevices. Okay. And yes, do I go through a lot of wipes? Yeah, I'm a little excessive on this one because it was a little bit nastier. Excuse me. But yeah, I go through a decent amount of wipes. So, all right. I want to try to clean your workspace too as you go, because especially dealing with controllers. It can get pretty nasty. We're gonna go one more round and we're done. So that's it, guys. That's about an hour. 2 controllers. Again, both of these came in a deal, so I'm really not in anything on these. You tell me if it's worth it. This one sells for about 30-ish, 25 to 30. The other one sells for 20 to 25. So after it's all said and done, when both sell, I'll probably see $40. Was it worth tinkering with them for $40 when it's all said and done? I think so. I look at it and I try to say to myself, well, there's people out there only making, $10 an hour. Well, yeah, I mean, $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. So I try to boil it down that way and break it down that way and remind myself, like, it's worth it. A, I enjoy doing it, and B, it ends up being worth it. So, so that's that. That's all she wrote. Put everything away. Wipe down this area a little bit. One time. Actually, that goes on there. I'm still gonna go wash my hands because my thumbs are a little exposed. I'll probably do another video of going through some video games or some cleaning. I'll show you guys real quick. Cleaning these. I just got these in a bundle. So these, I got some sticky residue on there that I want to get off. I'll show you guys how that stuff comes off. The pins are pretty nasty in a couple of these. So I'll probably take them apart and clean the pins really good. This is just a really janky, a lot of, so it's all kind of yuck. Got some yuck on it and stuff. Again, just sticker residue on there. This is like a $50 game. It's got like sticker residue on the corner. Same thing with this one, sticker residue on there. So another like $30-$40 game on that one. So I'll show you guys what I do with those. Basically, I tear them all apart, clean them all up, clean all the pins, call them good to go. Test them out, make sure they're working after I tinker with them, and I don't want to throw them in the system when their pins are just nasty. So that's all I got on this one. I'm gonna go wash my hands, check the time, and I think I'm gonna call it and save that for you guys for maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll do another one tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I got for you. Whoa. That's all I got for you guys. Let me turn this, huh? No. Turn this. There we go. There you go. That's a little bit better. So, yeah. So that's all she wrote. Give me your feedback on what your thoughts are on the controllers. Is it worth it? Not worth it? Should I call that other one refurbished? I'm going to go wash my hands, and I think I'm going to dive into these games because I've been sitting on this stuff for a while. Like I said, I've been kind of lazy. It's only like, I don't know, what time is it? Let's check the time. It is 12:15. I think I can get through like 30-40 minutes, get through those, and do one more video tonight. So I think we're going to do that. I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to go wash my hands, get this nasty stuff off my fingers because it's on there, and then I'm going to come back and do another one. So we'll be back. But if I don't see you, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.